So more stuff going on. It's February, not quite the middle of February. Valentine's Day is coming up, so if you haven't already made plans for that, don't forget to do that. But let's see, in the news, we just finished up the Super Bowl. I don't know, not really much to see there kind of thing. Not a great game, in my opinion.
No, congratulations, Seattle.
Seattle did, yeah, Seattle won.
But, it was, I guess you could say it was a great defensive game, but it was not a great game to watch. It was just, yeah.
But we had good food, good friends around us, so, we made it eventful.
At least in our area, there was a commercial that was meh, M-E-H, meh. And
the game was kind of meh.
To me, that was right? The
That's
commercial
true.
kind of something.
It sure did.
So
on other news, I did check. I've been looking for that Trumpaccounts.gov site to see kind of what medications are out there. How does it actually work? To me, it seems like that site is kind of set up similar to like GoodRx or some of those other alternatives where you can get medication for a little bit less than maybe what you can get with insurance, or if you don't have insurance, it gives it to you at a discount. You can find the drug of choice on the Trumpaccounts.gov site, and then you show that, I guess, to the pharmacy that you go to get that price. But unfortunately, I went out there to actually look for some like common medications that a lot of people I know have, like metformin for those with diabetes, simvastatin. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to find those out there. All I found were all the weight loss crap, the GLP stuff, injectables and
it seemed
pills.
Like, you did a lot more research than I did, but it seemed like most of the stuff that I saw in a cursory glance was weight loss.
Right. So, to me, that was like really disappointing because I thought one of the first things that were going to be put out there were more commonly used medications that, can help the masses that actually need that kind of medication for their health, for their, as a requirement to keep like their blood sugar down, to help with the blood pressure, with cholesterol, that kind of thing. Now, I also did look up some other stuff that isn't as common. There's an eye drop that my mom uses, for example, that I wanted to see if that kind of drug or medication was out there. It was not either. So, yeah, it was, I didn't really go putting in every single medication that I'm aware of, but the kind of common ones like metformin and simvastatin, I was very disappointed that those were not listed
maybe the list is an initial list and it's going to start expanding.
Yeah, they did. It does say on there. There's a disclaimer that there's constantly going to be additions that are added to the site. So keep going out there and looking. But in any case, it is available for those that are looking for primarily the weight loss stuff. It looks like a lot of those drugs are out there.
It seemed like there were at least a few that I saw. It was probably 75 to 80% less.
Discount wise, yes, it did. Some that are like $600 drugs are now $150, and so it's significant savings. But unfortunately, it didn't help me or people that I know that take some of these more common drugs as a requirement for their health, not a choice. So Trumpaccounts.gov, the site is up. You can search on specific medications or a specific category, and then it'll pull up the different medications regarding that category.
Well, maybe some of the folks watching have had an experience or gone out and looked and they found some of this stuff.
Yeah, have you, for anybody that uses something that's out there, have you actually used it or compared it to GoodRx or some of those other insurance alternatives for prescription drugs? And if so, did you have success? Where did you actually find it that it was a better deal than using something else? That'd be interesting to know, at least for the preliminary stuff that's out there. But it looks like they are going to continue to add. I do hope that they add some of the more common medications out there sooner than later. But anyway, it is available. The other thing regarding the Trump administration that is now available that they've been touting for some time is the $1,000 account for newborns. Very exciting. I think by the age of, if you put in 1,000 and they go through the projections of how the contributions would work and matching and investing and all of that, by the age of 28 for that newborn, potentially that account would be in the millions. So that's impressive, and of course it's new, but the great news is that anybody can contribute to it. And even if you want to contribute to the I don't know if it's called a fund or whatever that is as an overall, you can actually contribute. If you don't have an individual to contribute to, you can contribute into that.
Yeah, I think in passing I saw it, and it looked like 25 plus different corporations or companies.
And individuals.
Yeah, but I was looking specifically at the corporations. The one that kind of struck me as odd was Steak and Shake.
Steak and Shake, yeah.
Like Steak and Shake is contributing to this fund.
Right. There's a lot of individuals that are contributing. There's celebrities and all that. A lot of companies are contributing, but there's also individuals that can contribute. You can personally contribite to a loved one that you know is, or your own newborn, or someone that you know. So that's fabulous.
Your employer can contribute. Lots of ways to contribute to the newborn account fund.
Yeah, very exciting.
The government, though, I think is what I heard, they're going to give $1,000 for the newborn to start the fund. So,
primarily that money, it started with Dell. I think Dell Corporation is the one that contributed the initial funding, and then of course there's several others that have come on board. So yeah, really exciting there. Anybody that's already set that up, let us know. I'd be interested to see what you know about it and how you think it's going to work for you. I think there's going to be a lot of education around it as well, so everybody can get educated on how best to utilize it.
I think that's probably as important as the money itself is the education.
Absolutely.
Because just giving people money or giving brand new newborns money, it's not going to solve the problem unless there's education that goes with it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So that's out there. And I think what's up for a vote here, hopefully in the near future, is voter ID. What is that bill called?
I don't know, but if both sides of our political administration don't get off their backside and vote on it, it's going to be very disappointing. I see them talk.
Take action and get it done already.
Just take action. Put it up for a vote. Like with everything else that we see, put it up for a vote and need to vote yes or no.
Now they
go on TV constantly and point fingers and talk about it and talk. The statistics I saw, whether you agree or not, it's both parties, everyone who is of voting age, both Republicans and Democrats, the entire combined total, it's 83+% approval.
They want voter ID.
Voter ID. So it's not a red-blue issue. There's more Republicans that want it, but total, even if you just look at Democrats only, they're 75+% in approval of voter ID.
That's what I saw as well.
To see the guys on TV that are opposed to it, I'm like, you've got a minimum 75% upside from your constituents to vote yes.
Yeah, the polls are all showing 80+% of the population wants voter ID. Period. Yeah. Now, and that's cut across all political circles, right? So there are so many people, politicians, that are out there on talk shows giving their opinion on everything. Just put it up for a vote. It makes no sense. And if there is somebody that's listening and you don't agree that there should be an ID when you go vote, I sure would like to understand why, because I heard Wesley Hunt, I think he was speaking to Congress about this topic, and he was saying, he just rattled off all the IDs he had that were government issued, and he had 7 different government issued IDs between his military ID, his driver's license, passport. He had right to carry, concealed to carry license. He had an ID for Congress. He had 7. I was trying to think, what do we have? We have at least 3, right? We have a passport, a driver's license, and a concealed carry. You've got a military on top of that. Military spouse. Yeah. So we have several government issued IDs. I really just don't understand why why anybody would oppose having an ID to be able to vote.
I can't think of any acquaintances, friends, or otherwise that you and I have or have had in the past, well, for me, 40-something years, who do not have at least one
form of an ID.
One form of ID that has been issued by either a state, local, or federal government.
Some government entity. Very strange. But anyway, my little piece from my viewpoint, I just say, put it up for a vote and get it done already. Quit talking about it, going back and forth, pointing fingers. Get in there, open it up for a vote, and pass the thing.
I went to the bank this morning to deposit a check. We've had the account open for 10+ years. I walk in the front door. It's the same 3 tellers, the branch manager. They all say, "Hey, Jim." I say, "Hey, Valerie." "Hey, Jose." "Hey, Paul." I get to the counter to cash a check. They ask for an ID. Everybody in the bank knows me. We've been doing business there for 10+ years, and I still have to produce an ID to cash the check. Everybody has an ID.
There's a process for everything.
There's a process.
And this process happens to be, you got to show an ID, but if you think about how many different places you go day to day that you have to show an ID, and a lot of places where people go to work, you have an ID.
Yep.
When you travel, you have to show ID.
Yep.
When you go into certain buildings, you have to show ID.
To buy alcohol or
To
tobacco,
get alcohol, to make purchases,
you have to have an ID.
you have to have an ID. To get on a military base, you have to have an ID.
Back in the day when we used to go to nightclubs or bars, you got to have an ID, even if you're not
Right.
going to drink.
Right, if you're right.
You gotta have an
That's
ID.
true. Yep. Clubs and things. So I'm not
We
a
went to a
real.
casino last weekend.
Yeah, had to show
Certain areas of the casino, we had to show an ID even to walk through that area.
So, if there is anybody that really opposes having to produce an ID to be able to vote, we definitely would love to hear your comments
Yeah.
on why and what is the obstacle. Like, what is the big barrier that you're just so opposed to having an ID?
In
Because
fact, if you are over 19 years old and you don't have any form of identification, please let us know, because I really would like to hear from you. And
how do you function?
We would like to have you on our show to ask some questions.
How do you have a bank account?
How do you get through daily life with no ID?
How do you have a bank account? Unless it's not your bank account, you just have an ATM card that you pull money. But yeah, it seems like you really cannot do your day-to-day living without a government-issued ID, without a driver's license at a minimum. But, some kind of formal identification.
I'd love to have you on, because I've got lots of questions on.
Very, very
I
interesting.
would applaud you for being able to exist in today's society without an ID.
Yeah, maybe that's possible. I don't know. But anyway, we can go on for a while. But again, let us know if it is something that you oppose, if it's something that you definitely agree with, and you're part of that 83 or whatever % of the population that is strongly in support of having an ID to vote. Let us know that too. And what are you hearing from anyone around you that opposes it? Because I cannot understand the reasoning behind why anybody would oppose it. And you go to any other country, I don't know of any country that wouldn't require you to have a formal identification to be able to even enter the country, much less, be able to function in the country. So, are there countries out there that you could do that? Let us know. I'm not aware of any.
I've lived in lots of countries.
But we haven't lived everywhere, so
Yeah,
maybe
true.
there's something, maybe there's a country out there that just says, yeah, come on in, leave whenever, come whenever, don't show any ID. We don't, want to track anything from anybody. But I'm just not aware of it. So let us know.
I lived on a tiny island in the middle of the Indian Ocean for 3 years, and all 3,400 people that lived there had an ID.
Yeah.
Every single one of them.
I just don't understand. Like, to me, it's one of those things, it really should be a no-brainer. You got to have ID for everything. So there's just one more thing. That is a very important thing. It's a right that we have to be able to vote. I don't understand why you wouldn't have to show an ID to be able to do it.
Well, I know the reason, but that's getting way too far political.
Let's just, let us know your
we don't
comments.
know a
Let us
legitimate
know.
reason to not have an ID.
We cannot understand why it is such a controversial topic, at least what they're showing online. But again, like 83% of the population says, yeah, we should have it. So
It's a
little bit contradictory.
It's only a controversial topic in the Senate and Congress. It's not controversial for the American public. Like we said, it's 83% of every voting age person out there says, yeah, what's the problem? So it's really not a controversial issue. It's an easy issue. Easy.
Let us know. Let us know what you think. What else? What else is going on?
No, I don't know.
We had
wasted time watching the Meh Bowl. You've talked about that. Trump RX, the $1,000 baby account. A week to go to Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
So if you're the typical guy, you'll wait until the last minute, stop at the gas station on the way home, and pick up the chocolate flavored rose. And
now, what I guess the other thing too is our gas prices. Are you guys still seeing gas prices in the $2 range? Are in the Dallas area we're seeing $2 range gas, right? And low twos, like $2.15 kind of average.
We paid $2.11 4 days ago.
I have not seen, although I've heard it on a couple of different channels on TV, but I have not seen gas under $2. Have you seen gas, or in your area, do you have gas prices that are under $2? I've only seen it in the low twos, at least in the Dallas area.
Yep,
and not yet.
That's what we paid last month.
Have not yet seen it under $2, but I've heard that there are some places. I don't know where yet. But I think California, New York are still pretty high.
They're probably still in the 4s or 5s.
I think they're still pretty high, but outside of that, so I think gas prices are decent. And so on the investing front, I just was looking at some different things online. We had heard about them in the past with different companies that were doing investing land specific as well as construction type loans. But more recently, we came across a company that actually purchases land and they prep it. I guess they make it shovel ready is the term they use. So they get all the zoning and the permits and whatever they need pulled and ready so that that land is ready for development for whatever, whether it's storage units or apartments, some kind of multifamily, commercial type building. And they're looking for funding, or they're looking for investors for a particular fund, and then they put these properties in there, but they purchase the properties with the understanding that they kind of already have a buyer. They've already got some people lined up, companies lined up that are looking to purchase land that's shovel ready. So kind of interesting on that front. This particular company is specific to Texas investing. I think there's others that go across multiple states, but I'm interested because I would like to be where we're actually investing. And so if it right now anyway, it looks intriguing. So we're looking into it further. But
And like my grandparents used to say, they're not making any more dirt.
yeah, land is what we have.
Not making any more.
Although, there are some countries like Singapore, which we saw they're actually building onto the island.
They are making the
and
island
packing.
bigger, but they're
Packing
taking
dirt.
they're taking the dirt from other countries
The
and other
ocean.
islands and
Yeah.
making their land space bigger.
Sure.
So
And I think China's also doing that.
I heard that.
I thought China was also, they're actually building an island
Well, yes, they're building that.
yeah,
They're taking the dirt from
They're
somewhere else and putting it
and
to,
very
to
interesting.
create space, but they were very big on building floating cities and floating bases.
Yes,
So not necessarily dirt, they're floating.
building a structure that can
Yes.
float. Yeah. Well, so yeah, we're looking into that. Have you heard of companies that basically are like land investing? And if so, have you actually invested with them? And are you seeing returns? Is it just an investment today and then you get a return at 2-3 year point, or is it some kind of monthly payout, or what are you guys finding online, or as you talk to different institutions or private companies that are looking for investors?
And if we decide to do it, would you have any interest in feedback about what we find?
Yeah,
if we
are you
decide?
interested in learning more about it? Yeah, that would be something. I mean, if we decide to go with it, we might even ask the CEO or the salesperson that's in that company to actually maybe come on and talk to us about it a little
Yeah,
further.
maybe so.
So, yeah, so that's kind of it on the investing front. I looked a little bit into some e-commerce, to just the concept of having a company help you with putting products on a website, making it accessible via TikTok, via eBay, and maybe some of the other platforms, managing those sales and doing all the shipping, customer service, returns, etc., marketing. I looked into one company. I was going to actually be on a call with them this morning, but I was so irritated that I ended up canceling the call like half an hour before I was supposed to get on the phone with them, because not only did I get the initial, welcome, we look forward to hearing from you, thank you for making your appointment. I got a string of emails after that, right? It's asking more questions about what you're interested in, how much money are you looking to invest, all of that, which was fine. So I went through and answered all of that. That was 2 days ago. And then I got another series of emails as reminders. Don't forget, you have a Monday morning phone call, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, about every 47 minutes.
So,
there was a
I
little
thought,
text or
okay,
an
so I
email
made sure.
reminding you. So,
I got 2 different text messages. Please confirm yes if you're going to be on the phone call on Monday, blah, blah. I replied yes. I typed in yes 2 different times on the text, also in the email. And then this morning, I got a phone call from an individual at the company, not the one I have the meeting with, but another individual. And he started asking me the exact same questions that I had already answered between the emails and the text messages and the initial form I filled out. And he, when I said, I've already answered all these questions, did you not get my information when I confirmed that I was going to be on a phone call Monday morning? And his response to me was, the person that you're going to speak with probably has that information, but I just wanted to go through it again to make sure, because we have so many people that, we don't have time. I don't think he used the word time, but that's what I
think you said
heard. Resources to review all of that prior to calling you. And I thought, okay, if you don't have enough time to go through what you asked me to submit to you, how are you going to manage my account if I decide to invest and have a site, an e-commerce site with you? I was so turned off, so irritated that I immediately canceled the phone call that I had in 30 minutes. And I do not understand that much contact, number one, but to then ultimately call me, like, it's as if you're verifying I'm actually going to be on the call and making sure. I don't know why there were so many touch points throughout the process, but that was very irritating. And if I put it on my calendar and I plan to attend, I'll attend. But if you constantly nag me and keep asking me the same questions over and over in different formats, including making a phone call and asking me verbally the same set of questions, it's irritating. So I don't know if you guys have ever tried to inquire about a business or an opportunity of any kind and gotten into that kind of situation. If so, how did you handle it? I mean, I really wanted the information because I am interested in e-commerce, but I'm so turned off by it that there was no value in me attending a 9:30 phone call that morning because I'm already in a bad state of mind, and I wasn't going to get over it in 30 minutes before the phone call.
Well, not only the multiple touches, I think part of the irritation was the attitude from the company that we are so busy and there are so many people that desire us, we just have to make sure that you're still prepared. As if they just negated all of the time, effort that you spent in saying,
to fill out all that information.
I want the information, I'm prepared for the information, I'm looking forward to having a discussion, and then for them to reach out for the 27th or 28th time
in a matter of days.
In a 48-hour window.
Yeah, it was crazy.
It's like, I think you said it how I would have said it, if you are so busy that you cannot accept my first through 31st information to you, how are you going to have the resources to actually take care of me if I were to become a paying customer?
Exactly. So got on my last nerve. So anyway, if you've experienced anything like that, let us know. And if you have experience in e-commerce and you have a website, you're selling products, and I've seen things out there where you can have, a coffee company site and you're actually selling coffee and coffee products. There's other sites that do other products. There's some that do a mix of products, some that you can select what products you want out there. But anyway, if you have experience in it, do let me know. Maybe I can, learn some good nuggets from you guys and see if it's something I even want to get into to begin with. And if so, maybe I'll try again later with another company. Yeah, so let us know if you guys have been involved in any of that, if you have your own business regarding e-commerce and a particular set of products, or you just kind of do a variety of products on your site, do let us know, because I would definitely be interested in learning more from someone who's actually doing it.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like the website. We've used them a couple of times for services. What's it?
Fiverr.
Fiverr?
Yeah, Fiverr has a lot of...
Yeah, I think the Fiverr stuff is pretty cool.
Fiverr is kind of interesting because there's individuals that bid on the job that you want done. So it's experts that are out there looking for work, and you put out there what you need and then what you're willing to pay. And if somebody says yes, then you hire them. So you can piecemeal it together yourself. I was just looking for like a one-stop shop, and that's kind of what this company was appearing to offer, which is why I wanted to look into it further. But, if they're too busy, they're too busy. So, it's not for me.
I don't shop e-commerce, but I have done the Fiverr stuff, and I think that's a pretty cool platform.
Yeah, I mean, it's a place you can definitely piecemeal it. But yeah. Anyway, what else is happening in this world of ours?
Oh my gosh, the Olympics have started.
That's
I
right.
saw some country, they had protesters against the Olympics.
Really? I don't know why, but...
Why would you protest the Olympics?
But I haven't been watching it, so I don't know. Were the opening ceremonies good, bad?
I don't...
Kind of neutral?
We kind of missed it all, but the Olympics have started. I did see that one of the American downhill female skiers had a horrible crash.
Oh.
And she is now definitely out.
Wow, that's too bad.
Not quite sure the details of what happened there, but yeah.
I think ice skating is coming up soon. But then, of course, we have the Summer Olympics, right? That are coming up. They're going to be right here in the U.S. We're celebrating our 250th anniversary of the United States.
Gonna get my 250 swag.
Yeah, I was going to say, anybody have a good
shirt.
site for the 250 swag? Because I think we do want to get some shirts or just something.
Speaking of e-commerce, 250 swag.
Yeah, I'd love to have a site to have that kind of stuff out there this year. But anyway, maybe. But in the meantime, I'll probably be buying it from somewhere. I think a couple of sites we've seen, clothing sites that have already put some 250, and I'm sure there's a couple of Gov sites that also have it because they're doing a big 250th 4th of July celebration and all over the U.S. So that's going to be exciting. I did see that in the Super Bowl in the stands. They actually had, one side of the stadium. I don't know if you guys saw that, but had the 250 and I think they said it was on the side where the sun was on it, so you could see the 250, but the west side, I don't know which side it was. But anyway, so that's happening, up and coming. What else is happening? What else is happening in your state, in your city? I know we attended, I think the last podcast we did, or one of them had to do with the current congressman, Wesley Hunt, that is running for Senate. I saw some numbers. It looks like actually the current AG that's running, the current Texas AG that's running for the same seat is actually ahead. And Wesley Hunt and the current senator, who is, what's his name? Ken Paxton is AG. He's actually ahead of the three that are racing for Senate. But the current, oh my gosh, how did I forget his name? Cornyn. He and Wesley Hunt are kind of almost tied. It's like 25.7 and 25.2.
I haven't seen the latest numbers.
Those are the numbers I saw yesterday. So it looks like Wesley Hunt is not in the lead, but he's, I think, gaining some popularity. But Ken Paxton, I think, currently is ahead on the Republican side. I have not looked further. I did see that Jasmine Crockett, is starting to make her rounds around Texas. I can't think of the guy's name that's running against her, but there is another opponent on the Democrat side. Do you remember his name?
I do
look it
not.
up. So anyway, so that's kind of going on. A lot of, different meetings and sessions and things, interviews and stuff going on for the Senate seat in Texas.
Midterms will be here.
Midterms around the corner in November. But the Senate seat in Texas is actually March 3rd. So that's coming up. Early voting is end of the month.
Less than a month away.
Yeah. So I think Wesley Hunt, I don't know if Ken Paxton is doing it as well, but Wesley Hunt has another session here in Dallas that's coming up, I think right after Valentine's Day. But,
and we have all of the other city and county stuff, the sheriffs, comptrollers, the judges, lots of. We have lots of homework to go do, lots of information to absorb to decide how we're going to vote prior to stepping into the actual voting booth. We like to know what we're going to do before we get there. It's just way too much to try to read and decide while you're standing there with voting.
Yeah. What do you guys do to prep for voting? I know last voting season I was telling everybody, encouraging them, read your propositions, know what they are, understand the wording.
We went through all of them.
Yeah, because some of the wording on some of this stuff is so kludgy that a no really means a yes means a no. It gets confusing. So we not only are looking at the different candidates, if we get an opportunity to actually hear some of them in our area, I think are going to take the time to go listen to everybody. But when it comes to some of these propositions, make sure you read them ahead of time so that you understand what it is that they're actually saying and wanting you to vote on. So, but I think we covered that like the last voting round. So, but how many of you plan on voting that are in Texas come March? Or are you kind of a don't care, or you just kind of are going to vote how you feel as opposed to maybe what
you heard on the last commercial you heard on the radio, the last big billboard you saw out in the public green space?
Yeah. How do you guys go about voting and prepping for that? Or do you do any prep? You just kind of go in and go on feeling based on maybe what you've heard or what you choose to listen to on either radio, your phone, TV, or some other media. And what else? What else is happening? The weather is absolutely beautiful here, while I think the East Coast is getting pounded with more cold weather. But we are definitely enjoying I think it's like highs in the 70s for at least a week. I don't know if it's going to get colder, but it's been really nice. Charlie has thoroughly enjoyed being outside and sunbathing. He loves to go find a spot right where the sun is hitting his whole body, and he will just go out there and lay there for hours. He loves it. let us know your thoughts on all the different topics that we've touched on. Don't forget to like and follow and subscribe.
And please share.